All right, guys. So I am here with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about a very controversial subject. It's actually controversial for me myself because I love one of these animals very dearly. Actually, it's a Brachiosaurus. I love it dearly. It was always my favorite dinosaur. I mean, Land Before Time and Littlefoot and all that stuff. Even when with the Power Rangers, it was always still my favorite dinosaur. Then, of course, we got this hippo right here. So, behold the behemoth. Is it a hippo or is it a Brachiosaurus? Let's find out. So, if you want to go ahead and turn to Job chapter 40, verse 15 is where this whole thing starts, right? And essentially, at this point, Job already, which you should definitely go back and read the book of Job because it reveals a lot of truth about what this world looks like, how this world was made, and the type of person that God or Yahweh, wherever you call them, is. Like, it's a pretty interesting book. But anyway, verse 15. Behold now, Behemoth. I believe this is the King James Version. Which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and the force in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar, and I believe it's sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees, in the covert of the reeds and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willow of the brook encompass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river and hesiteth not. He trusts that he can swallow up Jordan in his mouth. He taketh it with his eyes, his nose pierceth through snares. Now, obviously, the King James always reads interesting. There's other versions of this, which we will get into a few of those towards the end. But this is what the Bible has to say about the behemoth. So let's get into the first verse. Let's break this down verse by verse. Verse 15. Behold now Behemoth, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. So, does or did the hippo walk with man? Because obviously it says he made him with them. So you got to ask that question. Does or did the Brachiosaurus walk with man? Because what God is saying is whatever creature he's describing, it was made with man. Does a hippo eat grass like an ox? Does the Brachiosaurus use its long neck to eat grass like an ox? Let's find out, because that's exactly what it says. This is an ox eating grass. This is a hippo eating grass. This is a Brachiosaurus eating grass. Oh, wait. Their necks were designed to eat food at the very, very top of the trees, because as long as his neck was, he still had to stand up. Okay, so two of these are actual real pictures. One of them is from the movie Jurassic Park. That's gonna... You guys are funny. Moving on. Number 16. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. So obviously, just researching this, I believe both creatures make a great claim because they're both very powerful creatures. Obviously, with the Brachiosaurus' size, you can say it is the stronger creature if it ever walked the earth. And I would give you that point. But basically what this is just saying right here is gird up your loins. I looked it up. That's what loins are. It's just what they were wearing back in the day because the government back then was just like cover up your legs. And when you gird up your loins like a man, it's funny, Jesus actually told the same thing to Job, or I should say God, Yahweh, said the same thing to Job right before he started this. It was like, you're all right, gird up your loins like a man. You're going to have to answer me. So it's basically saying, get ready, man up, let's go. All right? So it basically just means it's strong. All right? And both animals are strong in their respective natures. All right? So that's verse 16. Moving on. And for me, I feel like this is where most of the confusion comes. Actually, this is absolutely where most of the confusion comes between these two behemoth title contenders. 17. He moveth his tail like a cedar, like a cedar, like a cedar. And that's motion. He moveth like a cedar. For instance, if I was to tell you he runs like a lion, that does not mean he's as big or as strong as a lion. Motion for motion. Obviously, you can get where I'm going here, right? And the sinews of his stones are wrapped together. As you can see, motion simply depicts how the behemoth moves its tail. How does a cedar move? Cedar trees sway back and forth, just like most trees in the wind. Size. The verse gives no mention to the size of the tail and only its motion. We would have to speculate its size on our own without any biblical reference to guide our imagination. And this is why most people get this horribly wrong. It's because you were given an image of something, and you know what? I'll just let it break it down for itself. You can see right here in this quick Google search. What does it say? Behemoth, a tail like a cedar. But that is not what the verse says. No translation says a tail like a cedar. All translations depicts the motion. Every single one of them. And this is exactly how people get misled into deception. Because that is wrong. It does not have a tail like a cedar. His tail moves like a cedar. And then you get funny stuff like this. I know for some reason it recorded backwards, but it says, I believe, which tail looks like a tree? Where does it say in this verse that the behemoth's tail looks like a tree, or is the size of a tree, or is as strong as a tree? The only thing the verse says is he moveth his tail like a cedar. Cedar trees sway back and forth. There is nothing you can do to change what the Bible is saying. You can decide to believe a lie, but you're not going to change what the Bible says. And that's God speaking, by the way. So you ain't going to change what God said. But just a little bit of English tip. The main difference between a simile and a metaphor is that a simile uses the words like or as. Do we see the word like or as in this verse? The answer is yes. To draw a comparison, a metaphor simply states the comparison without using like or as. An example of a simile. She is as innocent as an angel. This does not make this woman an angel, nor does it give her wings or make her 6'7". An example of a metaphor. She is an angel. Obviously, since it's a metaphor, she is not actually an angel. This also does not give her wings or make her tall. It's a metaphor. And then there's similes. What we're looking at in this verse is not a metaphor. It is a simile. Motion for motion, strength for strength, likeness for likeness. Let's move on. He moveth his tail like a cedar. Right? Second part. The sinews, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, it just looks like sinews, because sin and news, of his stones are wrapped together. So I actually had to do a little research because I really didn't know what it means. And this is just my rule of thumb. Anytime I don't know anyone, King James, CJB, or any other versions of the Bible that I'm reading, I just pull it up in its original Hebrew text. I have an app. that shows me what the strong concordance number is, the actual word in Hebrew, noun, verb, all that good stuff, so I can actually get a true understanding. And all I do is I take that number and I just go to the website, Strong's Concordance. All right, these were people that spoke Hebrew who translated Hebrew, and then Septuagint, people that spoke Greek translated Greek, and essentially it's the best translation that you're going to get for these words. All right, so when I pulled up the word, I'm researching it, trying to figure out what the heck it means. And lo and behold, guess what word shows up? Brachiosaurus, dinosaur. No. Hippopotamus shows up. I wonder why the hippopotamus shows up when I'm looking at this word. Okay, whatever, but it just basically means the way the body is constructed. All right, this is construction of his body. That's what it's alluding to. Moving forward. 18. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. Now, like we talked about before, the word as is there, meaning this is a simile, right? His bones are like simile bars of iron. Now, obviously, you're not going to really find out much about the bones on a Brachiosaurus because we'll get into this later, but fossils are not what you think they are. You have never seen the bones of a Brachiosaurus. You have never seen it because in a museum, they're actually not the real bones. All right, I don't know if you guys understand that, but they're not. We'll get into that later. This is the depiction of a hippo's bones. They both look strong. They both look pretty sturdy, right? And I don't know about no hippo having no strong bones like brass or an iron. I'm never tussled with one. I don't intend to tussle with one. But let's see what the experts say. The hippo is obviously a cumbersome animal, but it is not just because of its tubby physique. Parts of the epictetular skeleton of the hippos are, I have no idea how to say that, I think it's osteolytic, whatever, means that their bones are extraordinarily dense due to the replacement of the porous bone with more compact bone. Hippos have extra lighter bone material in a large medullary cavity within their limb bones. This means that their bones act as a kind of elastic to help them receive natural buoyancy underwater. Without this added weight, they have to actively extend a lot of energy to remain underwater. All right, now you can finish reading this, but what it's telling you is that their bones, because let's think about it. What is brass and iron known for? Being strong and dense. Are the hippo's bones strong? According to this expert, it is. Are their bones dense? According to this, it is. And once again, like I said, with the dinosaurs, obviously we would have to imagine that it would be so. But unfortunately for you and I, you have never, nor will you ever, get to see or study the bones of a Brachiosaurus. All right, I'm sorry, these are just the facts. If you go to any museum and ask them if those are actual bones, and you'll get the truth. I know that a lot of us has been psyopsed, and we believe a lot of false evidence that appear real, but unfortunately, the truth is the truth, and there's nothing you or I can do about it. We can either accept it or reject it. That's it. We're all entitled to our own opinions, just not our own facts. 19. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach him. So after studying this verse, it basically just means this animal is a boss. All right, they run stuff. Now, I've seen some videos of hippos running stuff. I can't say I've seen a video of a Brachiosaurus running stuff. But let's just talk about the hippo real quick. All right, these things are dangerous. In fact, they are the most dangerous animal out here. They kill a lot of people and they're extremely aggressive. Do yourself a favor if you want. When you're done with the video, go watch a couple lions try to eat a hippo. Go watch what happens when alligators and crocodiles get too close to hippos and what the hippos do. I got a question. What eats a hippo? Absolutely nothing. Unless it's dead. Hippos are thugs out here, bro. They ain't playing with you. Think about this, man. Have you ever seen somebody rocking the mane of a lion? Hell yeah. You ever seen people rocking the tusk of an elephant? All day long. You ever seen somebody rocking the hide of a hippo? Okay. I'm just saying. It obviously said ain't nobody rolling up on this dude with a sword. And if this is true, I mean, you just got to go back to biblical days. Wouldn't we have tried to conquer this Brachiosaurus back in the day? I mean, it's so big, right? And, you know, as men, we just want to be dominant over everything. We are the dominant species, aren't we? I'm pretty sure we would have to see them using the tail or the bones or the skull of this animal for something. But we don't find it for the hippo, and we don't find it for the Brachiosaurus. All I'm saying is the hippo is dangerous, and the Brachiosaurus is not. Littlefoot was soft. He's still soft. You know what I mean? His mom tried to take out Sharptooth, but she failed. I'm just saying, like, these animals are not aggressive. Anybody can approach this animal, right? A child, I know it just says child, but it's supposed to say a child can approach this dude with a sword and be A-okay. Because they're soft. They're gentle. All right? Watch Jurassic Park to tell you the truth. Number 20. Surely the mountain brings him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. All right, so this one is easy. Hippos live in the watering holes or rivers, where all the lions, crocodiles, zebras, gazelles, elephants, giraffes, hyenas, meerkats, wildebeest, tigers, leopard, antelopes, the cast of Lion King, and Zootopia drink from. They're all there. They're all there. And since no one has ever seen a Brachiosaurus drink from the River Jordan, since it's from America, I guess this goes to the hippo hands down. If you want to go back in the video, one of the pictures of the Brachiosaurus literally tells you that, you know, it was found in like Colorado or something. But they're supposed to be an American dinosaur. Because, you know, when the meteors came down, it hit America, but all the dinosaurs in China died. So, number 21. He lieth under the shady trees in the covereth of the reeds and the fens. Now, for me, honestly, up until I got to this point, I personally was still leaning towards the Brachiosaurus, 100%. But after further study, and I'm looking at it, I'm realizing that it's giving us the environment that this animal lives in. And it literally says, lieth under the tree. Ain't no Brachiosaurus under no dang tree, fam. It's just not gonna happen. You would not see this animal laying under no tree for no shade. I know what you're gonna say. Back then, the trees were so much bigger, dude. So it totally could lay under there. Okay, fine. I'll give that to you. You would be correct based on that understanding of what the earth used to look like, based on what science is telling you, right? And remember, this is a biblical study. So I understand that the Bible and science, they are conflicting. The Bible confirms the earth around 6,000 years old, and you can just do that by looking at the ages of Adam. He was only made like 6 days before or 5 days before the earth was. So you can just look at how long he lived, when he had what kid, and all the way up to the time of Jesus. It gives you the genealogy. Earth around 6,000 years old. Y'all can do that on a further study. Scientists, obviously, it's billions and billions and billions, and they don't freaking know because they weren't there. But they're going to tell you that they know because of science. But anyway, the second part of this tells you that it's in the covert, meaning he's hiding around reeds and fens. Well, what are reeds and what are fens? These are reeds. These are fens. Lo and behold, I got it all in one shot. Shaded trees, reeds and fens, and the dang river. All there. Imagine that. Hippos, reeds, fens, shade. This verse right here is what let me know this was definitely the hippo, because it gives its environment, which is still here today. Now, the 22, the shady trees cover him with their shadow, and the willows of the brook encompass him. Do you think the willows of the brook is going to encompass this dinosaur, or any tree is going to give him shade? Let's just get this out of here. Let's just get this out of here. Now, these last two verses is pretty much just the same thing. But like I said, I wanted to show you there are other translations. The rest of them are pretty the same. But this is kind of where it differs to give you a better understanding or depiction of what Yah is saying to Job. Behold, he drinketh up the river and hasten not. He trusts that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. All right, that's what the King James Version says. Another version right here says, behold, if the river is troubled, he is not frightened. He is confident, though Jordan rushes against his mouth. Can one take him with hooks or pierce his nose with a snare? Now, obviously, this one is definitely going to give you, once again, the hippo. Because if the Brachiosaurus was laying in the Jordan, his mouth don't need to be down there. His neck is so long. His legs are so long. This depiction would never fit the Brachiosaurus based on his stature, physique, and physical makeup. I think that's what physiques mean, so maybe I'm double explaining that. But, I mean, facts are the facts, right? If the Brachiosaurus ever existed, then he would not be in this river like that. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So this is the CJB. This is another version that has something very, very similar. Not considered the behemoth who I made along with you. He eateth grass like an ox. His strength is in his loins, with the power in his stomach muscle. Hippos are fat. So are Brachiosauruses. So like I said, both can go either way. He can make his tail as stiff as a cedar. So now this is funny, right? Because one of them sways, which is just a little bit. This one is saying he can make his tail as stiff as a cedar. But once again, it is ability and ability. Stiffness. It can tighten it up, right? But it's not saying it's the size of a cedar. Not saying it's as big as a cedar or as long as a cedar, as a thick or as a strong. None of that, right? It's not saying any of that stuff. None. The muscles in his thighs are like cables. His bones are like bronze pipes. His limbs are like iron bars. Once again, they're similes. It's just saying they're strong and they're dense. Like I said, for the most part, it could fit both of these things. Both animals do a pretty good thing outside of the whole tail thing. For me, it really just gets the dinosaur out of there. It's just not it anymore. You can't have it because it doesn't say it is a size. So the dinosaur's already out of the picture, but for argument's sake, all right, he ranks first amongst God's works. All right, now here's the thing. I said it before, nothing eats a hippo. Everything would have ate the Brachiosaurus, a T-Rex, all these dinosaurs that they make up. And it's funny because when you watch the Jurassic Park movies, they literally tell you that they make up the dinosaurs. The new dinosaur that they had, whatever it was, it's the Endonomus Rex. There's toys of it. There's studies of it. There's bone structures of it. You got this whole fantasy thing about this dinosaur that you can go find, but yet it was designed 100% for the movie, just like the Velociraptor. The Velociraptor was supposed to be a little dinosaur, had feathers on it. It looked like the size of a chicken. That is the original Velociraptor. The raptor that you see in the Steven Spielberg movies is actually the Utah Raptor, which conveniently they found 6 months after production when Steven Spielberg decided he didn't want to use the Velociraptor anymore because it wasn't scary enough. So he kind of made up his own dinosaur. Wow. Yep. Telling you, man, you guys gotta, like I said, find the truth. And to get information like this, you are going to have to research a little bit deeper. But think back to school. They used to teach you that the Velociraptor was that small chicken-style dinosaur. That is the Velociraptor. The raptor you see in the movie is not the Velociraptor, even though that's what the movies call it. It is actually the Utah Raptor. Just like I said, look it up for yourself. Don't believe me just because I'm saying it. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence. But the Behemoth is not the Brachiosaurus. It's not this dinosaur, guys. I'm sorry. There's too many verses that show that this dinosaur does not, or this creature does not fit what God is saying. Because you got to remember, the hippo fits all of it. There is nowhere there where you could take the hippo out. A lot of people will say, tail like a cedar, but that's not what the verse says. It never says the animal has a tail like a cedar. It says it moves like a cedar, or it stiffens its tail like a cedar. Hippo has never been disqualified. This dinosaur has been disqualified multiple times, so I'm sorry. Now, once again, this is extra credit because based on a few of the comments that I've made, this is probably where you guys are going to say I'm crazy or whatever. It doesn't really bother me. Like I said, we're all entitled to an opinion, just not our own facts. And I'm pretty sure I love dinosaurs more than all of you did, which is why I know so much about them. Obviously, there's people that know more about it than I do, clearly. But I'm just letting you know that I studied this stuff heavily. I wanted to be a paleontologist, like I said in my YouTube message that I put there. I love Rob Skiba. If anybody doesn't know Rob Skiba, he does a great breakdown on the Watchers, on the Book of Enoch, on, you know, the angels coming down, on the Nephilim. I mean, I love it. Everything he does, I love it. I support Seed, all that stuff. Rob Skiba, you are the man. The only issue is I understand the love of dinosaurs just like I had, and us wanting to make it fit into the Bible. Unfortunately, though, I don't care about that. I only care about the truth. That's it. And I don't care what shape it takes or what it looks like. I just want to know the truth. And unfortunately, based on the evidence that I have acquired, dinosaurs are 100% complete bogus. It was all made up. Eric Dubé did a great video on it, but it's clear that these things don't exist. I mean, like I said, a meteor hit it in America and all the ones in China died, right? All these bones, all these fossils, you go to the museum, not one of them are bones, and they will tell you that. They are all replicas. And just look at what a fossil actually is. The dinosaur bones that you see on display at museums aren't really bones at all. Through the process of fossilization, ancient animal bones are turned into rock. I'm trying to help people with this stuff, but when I tell people, everybody makes fun of me. They're laughing. They think I'm stupid. Obviously, dinosaurs exist. But most of these guys believe that they came from monkeys, that came from rocks. So it doesn't bother me that they don't think I'm intelligent, because I was divinely created. But I'm just giving you guys a few things to look up. Look up this William Buckland guy. Started off as a theologian. All of a sudden, he started denying the Genesis account. Not the Genesis, well, it is an account in Genesis, but it was really the flood. He started denying the flood. Oh, I don't believe this. And he was one of the big dinosaur guys. Once again, trying to move people away from creation. Same thing with the bone rush. I mean, these guys lied. Over 100 dinosaurs were falsified. They try to bring up unicorns, which I'll give this one to you for free. A unicorn in the Bible is not a freaking horse with a horn on it. It is a rhinoceros. That is the original name of the rhinoceros. There were two of them, the unicornus and the biunicornus. The biunicornus, I believe, is the Asian rhino, which has two horns, and the standard unicornus has one horn. We now call that animal a rhino, similar to how we call the behemoth a hippo today. So like I said, don't believe me. Do the research for yourself. Go back and Google the dictionary from 1611 or whenever the King James Bible was made, and see what it says. The unicorn is actually a hippo. Unicorn. One, not a hippo, a rhino. Unicorn, one horn. Simple. All right. But anyway, guys, the winner of this contest is the hippopotamus. All right. And like I said, we have to just go with the truth. I know that we want dinosaurs to exist because they're freaking awesome. Unfortunately, they don't. All right. They just don't exist. And anyway, even if they did exist, they still would not fit this description. All right. They just don't. So once again, guys, remember, we're all entitled to our own opinions, not our own facts. And don't be a hypocrite. Hypocrite, right? Don't be this guy. Don't be a hypocrite. Here's why I'm saying that. If you're going to believe that the Bible is true, and I believe you would if you're going to be looking at this discussion, it's either the Bible is true 100% or it's not. And it's either, if you're going to take science, it's either science is true or it's not. And you're going to be listening to scientists that say they're 98% stupid about the stuff that they're talking about, which makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. All right. So unfortunately, like I said, look at it for yourself, but dinosaurs never existed. The earth is only about 6,000 years old. Like it also says in Job, it's set on pillars and the earth does not move. And it has a extremely hard firmament. That's what the sky is. It's a firmament. All right. So I understand that there's a lot of things that we used to believe. But if we're going to take the Bible for what it is as truth, then we just have to put away those fairy tales. All right. So this is the armor of God. Another video down. Shalom, shalom.